Sit down and watch, then have a talk with Jennifer and Josh.
Hey guys, it's Josh and Jennifer, and we're here to give you some bonus content. Listen, we watched Finding Mr. Christmas season 1 last year and did some social posts about it, but we had to talk about it on the podcast this year for season 2. That's right, Hallmark's on the hunt for a new leading man, and we'll give you a quick recap and our thoughts on who might just have what it takes. We will not say at the end who is eliminated. We will talk about the rest of the episode, but we're not going to tell you who gets eliminated. So if you want to hear our thoughts on who gets cut, check back next week for the next episode and we'll kind of recap that a little bit. But that way, if you haven't seen it or don't want spoilers for who goes home, we're not going to take that away from you because, hey, if you're on the fence about watching this show, you should dive in. We are very pro Finding Mr. Christmas. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, it's fun. I think it's kind of a different take on a reality series. And there are some stakes here. You know, last year, the winner of Finding Mr. Christmas, Ezra, got a role starring in Happy Holidays, which was the very last movie that they did in Countdown to Christmas last year. He was with Jessica Loudness. We did a recap and review on that movie, by the way, if you want to go check out that. We had some thoughts about that. I'll leave it at that. Anyway, it's interesting to me, Jennifer, that they have not said what movie the winner of this competition is going to be in. They're not doing that thing where, oh, he's going to be in the last movie of the season. Do you have any thoughts on what's going on here?
I know. I think the verbiage is different too. Last year, didn't they say we'll get a leading role in a Hallmark Christmas movie? And this year, they're phrasing it a little different. And I don't have the exact verbiage, but it's kind of like, we'll get a role. Like, we'll be maybe on set. That's what they might as well say. I mean, I heard somebody talking. I don't remember if it was the Deck the Hallmark guys or who was it. But a theory going around is maybe it's still the last movie of the year, which on Hallmark this year would be A Christmas Baby. Oh, what's her name? Allie Liebert acts in that, and she was involved as a producer guest star on last season Finding Mr. Christmas. So I wonder if
I
they were
remember,
saying
yeah.
maybe that could be it. I don't know. Nobody knows. So it's very curious. But either way, I'm a big reality TV person. I love Love is Blind, Married at First Sight, Survivor, Amazing Race, Big Brother. I watch all of it. So a reality TV show plus Christmas cheer and Jonathan Bennett and Melissa Peterman.
Say
I'm
less.
seated.
Say less.
Say
So
less.
this one starts episode 1. All the guys are there. They are arriving to this beautiful Christmas mansion in the middle of nowhere, Utah, presumably. It's beautiful there. And so we get the guys showing up in a variety of ways. There are bro handshakes aplenty. These guys are definitely a crop of bros, Jennifer.
That's right. And I was taking notes. I did not research any of the guys ahead of time. I followed them on social media just from a post, but I didn't do a deep dive or anything. Honestly, I still have trouble figuring out who's who. This is not unique to this show. Any show, I'm like, wait, who is that one? So I kind of made myself some little notes. I might make an infographic that says kind of first name and something about them too for our socials, so all of y'all can kind of follow along because
that would be helpful.
It's a lot of dudes. It's a lot. What, there were like 10? Are there 10 dudes?
There's 10, and one of them, Craig, had this line, quote, "I feel like my biggest competition is myself." So, okay, there we go. There's some healthy egos in this crew. Let's just put it at that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you want to do this? Do you want to talk about our first impressions of the guys, or
Well,
should we
let's do
just cut
this.
to the activities?
Let's cut to the activities. So Jonathan Bennett shows up, and he's going to explain how this is all going to work for these guys, these 10 guys who are showing up. Basically, every episode is going to be a 2-part kind of challenge. The first is what's called the Festive Face-Off, and then there's going to be the Star Quality Challenge, which is more of like a traditional acting thing. The first challenge is usually something that has to do with some kind of Christmas craft of sorts. So in this particular episode, what they have to do is get crafty with Santa costumes. And so they're going to have to take a traditional Santa costume and deck it out in a way that showcases their personality, and presumably they're not going to get much time, are they, Jennifer? Literally minutes,
I
it
guess
seems like.
not. Yeah, literal minutes, glue's flying, glitter's flying. One guy immediately cuts off the sleeves to his Santa suit because, of course, all these guys are hecka jacked. I mean, they look like they live in the gym 24/7. There's not an ugly one in the bunch, okay?
Which is
So
funny because they go into the kitchen at the mansion and there's literally every kind of Christmas treat imaginable. These guys are not eating that stuff. Trust me.
they're
These
like, I
guys are
might have
straight
to
up
have a donut. Yeah, quit it.
protein. Yeah, protein for
Yeah.
days here.
On Love is Blind this past season, this isn't a spoiler for that show, but there was a guy who, to get his protein in, would blend up a grilled chicken, put a Crystal Light packet in, and drink it like a smoothie.
Stop.
Oh,
That's
and I
disgusting.
think these guys probably would prescribe to that before they would eat a donut.
Absolutely. Anyway, so some of the costumes that they come up with are, okay. Some of them are just really terrible and not crafty at all. Some of these guys clearly have never had to present before and are really awkward. One guy almost comes to tears because he just sort of flatlines and is unable to really say much of anything. It's kind of painful to watch.
Yeah, that was Gabe. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Gabe just started acting and he froze, but their Santa suits were supposed to also represent something about them so that Jonathan Bennett and Melissa Peterman could get to know them more. And so he put penguins on his because penguins mate for life and he loves that. But they were like, "Well, do penguins live wherever he was from, Wyoming?" I don't remember where he was from. And he's like, "No." It's like, "Okay."
Okay. Yeah, it was rough. Yeah. So the
Yeah, we
guy
had
who
a
wins the
modeling
challenge.
Santa. Oh,
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead. We
I was
had
just gonna say,
a Santa who showed his heart to others. We had Mr. Liftmas was a Santa. We had a football Santa. We had a rock star Santa. We had a model superhero Santa. A couple model Santas, and then yeah, go ahead with who won.
I was just gonna say that the guy who winds up winning, actually, I thought did something creative. He was like a New York Santa, New York accent because he's from New York, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
It really played well with Jonathan. And by this point, Melissa Peterman is there offering commentary and swooning over the muscles and the abs and the whole 9 yards. Yes.
Yeah. So funny. Yeah, that was Craig. So Craig won and he gets an advantage. So he gets to pick the order that the pairings will act in the next scene, which is the star quality challenge. And so each episode they're going to bring in a Hallmark star, and this time it was Janelle Parrish, who we love, and they get one shot to act alongside her and tape a scene, and then it'll be reviewed and then somebody will win that. So they had to pair off into duos. And then Craig picked the order, and Craig chose to go last with his partner. And I agree with that. I would totally go last because that's the last thing that's going to be on your mind. And you can see how everybody else does and what they're screwing up. And there were some
Yeah.
screw ups, Josh.
There were absolutely some screw ups. So the way this scene worked is Janelle was playing someone skiing on the mountain and she falls. The first guy is there to kind of pick her up and comfort her a little bit, and they have an interaction. Then the second guy is ski patrol, and he sort of takes over for the first guy. So I was trying to think like which of these two roles would I want, Because
Mm-hmm.
I think there's obviously upsides and downsides to both, right? If you're the guy who has the initial encounter, you could probably be a little bit more flirty. If you're the ski patrol guy, you are kind of the guy who swoops in and saves the day. So I think that there's pros and cons to both, but it's
When they kind of talked
very,
about that, they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be." I think the ski patrol guys they said had more lines, maybe. I think is
yeah,
what they
that's
said, and so
right.
they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
that's harder. That has more lines." But then you do swoop in, so but you almost get to paint it as a villain, maybe. So can you pull that
Yeah.
off? It was fascinating. Yeah.
It was fascinating. And of course, some of these guys have never skied before. Some of these guys have never acted before. And you combine those two things in front of the cameras on Hallmark Channel with Janelle Parrott. That is a stressful situation. And when I tell you some of these guys cannot ski, literally, it's comedic the way that they sort of swoop in and immediately fall down and have to recover because they only get one shot. And that is bonkers to me. So.
Yeah. And they have to make sure that they're not blocked. One guy blocked his camera view because he fell and he tried to recover and backed up the mountain to where they were. But then once he got on, if you're on YouTube, is basically his back was here. Like, you couldn't
Yeah.
see Janelle Parrish. Not that I'm comparing myself to Janelle Parrish, but, like, you couldn't see her. So he was blocking her. One guy forgot to take his goggles off for 90% of the time. People were missing lines. One guy got the lines mixed up, and he calls her a jerk girl because he was really trying to call the other guy a jerk, but they're like, "Did he call her a jerk girl?" Like, it was
And
just
that's the best part
comical.
is Jonathan and Melissa are off to the side looking at things on a monitor and sort of providing real-time commentary, which I think is really insightful. They really say some helpful things. So it looked like a challenging, out of the gate, tough situation for these competitors. And before you know it, it's time for the elimination.
Again, we're not going to say who gets eliminated, but I do like that it's like the snow globe scene, and it's Jonathan Bennett, Melissa Peterman, and Janelle Parrish all standing there everybody's dressed in their best, their Christmas best, and they're kind of talking about the pros and cons. Well, you did this and you did that, and you really connected with Janelle in a way that was more noticeable than others. And so we're not going to say who gets eliminated, but we will say who gets gold and coal from each of us out of the lineup every week. So, Josh, do you have their names of who you're going to give gold and coal to?
I do. So I'm going to give gold for Craig, and I'm going to give gold for Rustin. I thought both of these guys had good performances. And you disagree. This is why I'm glad we're doing
No,
this.
you did two. You can't do two. You have to pick one.
Oh, I have to pick one? Oh, okay. If I have
Yeah.
to pick one, then it's going to be Rustin. Rustin's going to get my gold for the week. I thought he did a really nice job in the challenge. I think he looks the part of a leading man. I think he has the demeanor for it. And so I was impressed by him in week 1. What about you? Who gets your
Rustin
gold?
was a standout. He felt very natural. I'll give that. I'm gonna give gold for Marcus. I thought Marcus was very captivating and really connected really well with her. I'm sure he was nervous, but he seemed more at ease than some of the other guys, so he stood out.
And your coal? Who gets your coal?
My my coal is Craig. I didn't like Craig in this one. I don't know. He seemed a little full of himself, maybe.
Yeah, I could
And
see
of course,
that.
we're only seeing 2 minutes of actual footage
Snippets.
of these guys interacting. So this is not, this is not, please, Craig's family, don't come at me. Like, this is no reflection on them as people. It's just kind of how they're being portrayed on the show. And I do wish we saw them more like in a reality format, like where we could see them interacting just day to day more. But anyways, that's the way it's structured. But who gets your
And
cold?
presumably that'll come with time as we go here. So my coal for this one goes to Gabriel. He just seems like he's out of his league here and really lacking some confidence here. It seemed like this whole scenario just kind of shook him a little bit in a way that I'm worried for the guy. I don't know
I'm
how
worried for
he's
him too.
gonna
He forgot what he
how
was
he's
gonna
gonna do.
say with the Santa suit, and then he forgot his lines with Janelle. So yeah, I do think, and he's one that's never acted before, and I do think he might be in over his head, but we'll see.
Yeah. So we'll have to come back next week. We'll be recapping episode 2, and we'll also give our thoughts on who was eliminated in episode 1 and all of that. That, dear friends, is another episode, a quick episode, if you will, of Do You Watch What I Watch, as we watch Finding Mr. Christmas Season 2. Special thanks to Nick Schwartz for our amazing theme song, and of course to you for taking the time to listen.
That's right. Next week, we're going to be back with another recap and review of Finding Mr. Christmas. And of course, a fun Christmas movies all year round or all season long, all year round too. So if you're new to our channel, thank you for being here. Subscribe, leave a review, do all the things. And wherever the season takes us, we want you to know.
May your days be merry and bright. We will see you very soon.